Hi everyone, this is Christel here with Wild Mountain Wellness Collective, and welcome back. Today I'm here with Melissa. She's been with us almost a year, and we just want to get to know her a little bit more. Melissa, tell us a little bit about what you do outside of counseling.
Outside of counseling, I really like to spend time with my family. Right now, it's hot outside. I like to use my paddle board, kind of be outside, go for hikes. I'm a big reader. I love reading, and I'm a big fan of consuming any kind of true crime podcast, documentary. That's kind of how I spend my free time.
I love that. I'm a big reader as well. What's your favorite book that you're reading right now, or what's your favorite book that you often suggest to clients?
The book that I'm reading right now is a little bit of a mystery book. It's called Keep Her Safe. I can't remember the author. It's a mystery book. It's kind of talking about, this adventure of if this is a missing person or not. And then for something that I kind of recommend for clients is a book called Anxiety Happens. So for anybody with anxiety, it does talk a little bit about anxiety, kind of like the science behind it, and also walks you through some mindfulness practices, which I find super helpful. Especially I struggle with my own personal anxiety, so sometimes just being reminded of, okay, taking a little step back and looking at things maybe from a different perspective, or just focusing on my body and what my body needs might help me with my personal anxieties.
What got you into counseling to begin with?
As far back as I can remember, I have always just loved supporting the people in my life emotionally, just kind of listening to them. And I remember distinctly when I was about 12, I had a friend who was going through something, and I kind of just remember like listening to her, talking to her about it, and she's like, "You're actually really good at this, And I was like, "Oh." So that kind of stuck with me. And then as the years progressed, and then I got old enough to kind of graduate from high school, I was like, actually, I kind of do like listening to people, and that's what kind of started this journey for me.
And tell us, what clients do you like to see?
Right now, primarily, I'm seeing young individuals, youth clients, kind of like age 6 or 7, no pun intended, or meme, or whatever it is out there nowadays. About that age, to like anybody that's a bit older too. Like, it's not just youth that I see. I primarily see youth, but I love working with individuals that are in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s.
So it's safe to say that you just love supporting individuals of all ages.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, I just like hearing people's stories, kind of interacting with individuals, and every session is different with every client. Sometimes we're here playing a game that's supposed to help with mental health, or we're sitting here and we're talking. Kind of just depends on what the client needs, what the person needs right then and there. Maybe one session it is playing a game, and the next session it's not doing anything and just sitting in silence, because that's what the person needs.
So really just meeting each client where they're at.
Yeah.
What are some of the modalities that you bring into each counseling session?
I really like to shift and pivot a lot of my interventions that I use based off what the clients are kind of needing. But primarily what I like to do is use play-based interventions with younger kids, whether that is like bringing in games, or using like coloring or whiteboard, or just like using building blocks, those types of things. I like to bring in some CBT. That is like for me a big thing, or like solution focused. Those are my kind of modalities I like to bring into the sessions.
I know you work with a lot of people with anxiety. What are some other life challenges that you support when it comes to your clients?
I work with people who are experiencing life transitions, depression, ADHD, different kinds of neurodivergence. I'm also working with people who have communication struggles and need some kind of tips and tricks, and I just want to work through some struggles with communication, and maybe like connection with other people, and maybe connection and regulation with themselves as well. That to me is super important in the work that I do, is self-regulation and self-connection. I personally believe that a lot of counseling work is doing the internal work with us, being able to connect to ourselves so we can kind of connect to our external pieces.
Can you share a little bit about what you see or how that helps your clients?
Yeah. So I'm really open with my clients about kind of how I see life and the world, and I'm pretty transparent with them about that right from the get-go. I say, this is how I see kind of counseling, this is kind of what I do. if that's what you are hoping to get out of this, that's great. If not, that's okay too. I'm happy to shift and adjust. And I really just take the first session to kind of get to know people that way and kind of allow them to get to know me in that way. And being able to connect with ourselves is so crucial, because that's how we consume the world around us. If you're struggling to be able to understand yourself, you don't even know how to interact or communicate with the world around you oftentimes. Being able to regulate your own self and your own emotions can kind of help those situations maybe where somebody else is dysregulated, and that also kind of makes you feel dysregulated.
Yeah. I also feel like emotion regulation is so important, but something that really interests me about you is your passion for learning. Can we go back up for a second and you tell us a little bit more about your current training?
Yeah, so right now I'm just finishing up something called synergetic play therapy. So play therapy is really big and it's broad. There's so many different avenues to go down. This is a specific type of kind of modality coined by somebody named Lisa Dion. She runs the training. This is about a 6-month training for the first level. And that's what I'm kind of finishing up right now, actually. And it's just about actually just sitting with, it's like meant to be for children, but you can use it literally with anybody, and I often actually use it with adult clients as well. But it's about understanding self and regulation, and how aggression can kind of show up within ourselves and within our lives, and how we kind of work through that in the therapy setting. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I've heard such amazing things from our clients that are coming here that are seeing you. Melissa, is there anything else that you think would be really, really important for your potential clients to know about you?
Something I really like to bring up always is I see the client as the expert in their own life, and that is something that I always remind my clients of, because I think sometimes people can kind of get distracted by the idea of, I'm going to see a counselor who is trained professionally in this. Okay, yeah, I have been trained professionally to a certain degree on how to incorporate these things, yet you're the expert of your own life. You know what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you, and so let's take that time together to focus on you and what you need. So we kind of, counseling is this journey, in my opinion, walking side by side, hand in hand, trying to figure out how to best support you, and not this like, I know what I'm doing as the counselor. That's not how I see it. I see it as this beautiful journey of, let's walk hand in hand to get you to the goal that you want to reach.
We are so happy to have you on our team, and I can't believe it's been a full year. And we're just so appreciative of you all the time.
I'm really appreciative of being here, and I love being here. This is just an amazing place to work, and to the clients that I get to see, and all the counselors in the office are just amazing.
What is common advice you give to your clients?
Something that I kind of often remind clients of, and also myself of, is treat yourself like you would a friend. Because oftentimes we get really down on ourselves about, you should do this and you should do that, or that should be better, or whatever that kind of looks like. We're just kind of negative or down on ourselves. And so thinking about, would I talk to a friend this way, or would I talk to a family member this way? If the answer is no, then maybe trying to shift that piece of how you're talking to yourself a little bit.
Love that. What are the days that you work for Wild Mountain?
I'm here right now Tuesday to Friday. I work usually from like 10 o'clock in the morning until later on in the evening. Some of my days do go a little bit later, especially for those people who are working the typical 9 to 5. So, or kids who have activities, I try to be flexible and make sure that there's always slots available for people who need something later in the evening.
Those after hours appointments are so important. I just love that you offer that here at Wild Mountain. Are you taking new clients right now?
I am, yes.
Melissa, do you take consult calls?
I do, yes, and I actually think they're super important. I kind of view them as the client's ability to interview me and to see if I'm a good fit for them. I kind of like to just get to know people and say, this is what I do in my practice, kind of give them a vibe of who I am as a person, because each one of us as counselors, we're obviously human beings, and people can kind of tell, if they like you or if they don't like you, and that's the most important thing, is the therapeutic relationship. And we tell clients right away, if you don't like me, that's okay. There's a counselor out there that you will like. Or if you do like me, that's great, and let's build on that. And so that trust has to be there, and you have to just like me and who I am in order to kind of grow So that's why consult calls are so important to me, just because that gives the client the opportunity to kind of interview me. What do? Ask me questions about what they're looking for to make sure they're getting the right person to help them.
I absolutely appreciate that, because there is no one right counselor for every single person, right? So if you want to connect more with Melissa, please do not hesitate to reach out to Wild Mountain Wellness Collective at 250-486-1868 by text or phone, or don't ever hesitate to email us at info@wildmountainwellness.ca.